Wow. How can you hate that? I want to do that every single time I make scrambled egg now. Okay, there is the faintest taste of something. Oh, that's quite nice. Oh, it's a bit gritty. Over the last year, I've been collecting a list of chefs' unusual shortcuts on my phone, and I feel like I've got enough to do, well, hopefully quite an interesting video to see if they're actually good, or maybe just too good to ignore in a good or bad way. So yes, we're gonna put 6 of these to the test to find out why these chefs are raving about them, why some people are really angry about it, and from my perspective, whether they're actually any good. Let's get going with some scrambled egg for breakfast. All right, first up is by Alton Brown, and it is adding mayonnaise to scrambled eggs. That's right, whisking a teaspoon of mayonnaise and a splash of water into scrambled eggs for extra creamy curds. People are saying that mayonnaise is just cheating. It's already got oil, vinegar, and egg yolks in it. Not something people would expect in scrambled eggs. Some say it tastes richer, and others say it just tastes a little darn odd. I'm actually kind of excited for this, as it is genuinely my breakfast today. Let's get going. All right, so this is all about these extra creamy curds. So we're gonna have 3 eggs. And I've done a few Alton Brown recipes before, and I blooming love his stuff. Yeah, it's never let me down. So I'm just gonna add in a tablespoon of water, like it says. So maybe that helps thin it out a little bit. And then goes in, and I'm being very specific, I weighed out the water. So I've weighed out the mayonnaise as well. 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise. Now, normally I'd like to season my scrambled eggs. In fact, I feel like that's a video in itself of me literally doing different chef scrambled eggs. I think that'd be really fun to do it. But it did say if you do this with a fork, you might struggle because you really do need to whisk it to break down those mayonnaise lumps, and I am actually witnessing that right now. Look at that. Yeah, it looks like it's having a bit of a battle with a load of marshmallow fluff. Right, let me get this done. You can really see the mayonnaise wants no part of this. This is taking absolutely ages to break down. Yeah, that's definitely lighter in color. If someone said that's 3 beaten eggs, I mean, I wouldn't disagree with them. The water's not done much, but yeah, it's definitely lighter, isn't it? And I can't see any specks of mayo. Right. So apparently the argument here is that it's like a double emulsion. So scrambled eggs are an emulsion of fat and water, whereas our mayonnaise that's hidden in here is also an emulsion of eggs and oil. So let's get our butter slightly warm. So that apparently is gonna boost the fat content, leading to creamier whites and a richer texture. Well, that's his thinking anyway, as this melts, thinking that the eggs will actually stay moist as well. So we shouldn't taste the mayo, although I can see it a little bit here. This is a nice low heat. I'm gonna keep it just moving around. But apparently it's a nice alternative rather than using milk or cream. Yeah, I'm gonna take this off the heat now. Yeah, it is still slightly undercooked. I'm just folding it over so there's a residual heat in the pan. Oh, it does look quite fluffy, doesn't it? This is my breakfast, folks. We have scrambled egg quite often. Like, normally I would season it. Normally I'd put in some milk, but I'm excited to see what this is like. Look at that's quite chunky. I mean, it does look like it's got a bit of spring to it, doesn't it? And considering it's only a tablespoon of mayonnaise in there as well, is it gonna make that big a difference? Okay, so is this gonna be richer and creamier? The curds look good. This might be the plainest scrambled egg I've had in a while. That is gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous. It's the texture that I first get of those curds. They're delicate. It's not rigid, it's melt in the mouth, and there is a slight mayo vibe to it, and I don't hate that. Like a mellowness, but maybe a slight oiliness, but only a smidgen. How can you hate that? That is absolutely gorgeous. I want to do that every single time I make scrambled egg now. The only thing was like whisking it together. You really had to break it down. You could maybe still do it with like little snowballs of mayonnaise in it. It was really worth that effort. Ooh. I'm not going to put MSG on it, although there were some chefs on my list that I've got. I could do a follow-up to this video. I've got so many on the list. Just a bit of pepper. That is a pass. That's a great start. This next one comes from a guy called Thomas Keller, who I'd not heard of before, but yep, he certainly looks like a chef and knows his onions. This is actually involving onions. His chef tip is to soak raw onions in water. He claims that by rinsing or soaking sliced onions in cold water, it will remove their harsh, sharp bite and make them more mellow. Whereas some people argue that is way too much faff to be washing your onions and will actually remove some of the flavor. So let's find out. All right, so we've got a red onion here. I don't know if it's just me. I find that the red onions are slightly more bitter, and I'm more likely to have these raw. Although I probably have my fair share of diced small standard onions because they do put them in McDonald's hamburgers. But I'm gonna do this like fairly big pieces so that I can got something I can grip hold of. There we go, look at that. I even like the little rooty bit there. Right, so let's just put a handful of that. This is some really cold water. Just let it soak in there a little bit. These can stay literally there. I'll get rid of this. And let's see if old Thomas is right. I'll tell you what, folks, it's been a couple of minutes, and is it just me, or does that water look like slightly murkier? Do you know what? I think this might work, you know. No, it doesn't really smell like an onion stock, but it certainly looks like more murky, doesn't it? Maybe I'm just like really trying to see something that I can't, but honestly, I do think that's slightly changed. Okay, so to test this, I've got a feeling if I go for like the raw one first of all, it might sort of like linger in my mouth versus the washed one. So I've actually got a pot of hummus as well. I was gonna dunk it in there. I was maybe gonna do salsa, but like looking at this right now, I think the best way to see if this works is to just have it, well, raw. It's raw. I'm gonna take a big old wing. Sorry, it looks like a wing of red onion. Okay, that's nice and dried out. Ooh, that's actually got an odd sweetness to it, and I'm still getting, I was thinking, oh no, I've just washed all the flavour off. I'm not, that still tastes. And there's smells of onion, well, I mean, there's a lot of onion there, maybe. I'm not getting that. I suppose it's not like hot or aggressive taste with one of these, but let me get a big piece here. You know, that sort of like raw punch that I don't like really hate it, but it's sort of like a bitterness, you know? Wow. Yeah, there it is. Oh, yeah, that kick right to the back of your throat. Wow. That is actually an incredible difference. And I was a bit skeptical about that. Oh. Yeah, the hummus masks it, but you still got that's that bitterness. When I first saw this one and noted it down, I was definitely on Team Faff, but that has massively proved me wrong. Another pass. This next one is by a chef called Pierre White, who I think trained Gordon Ramsay and actually made him cry. Thinking about it, if Gordon Ramsay's seen half the stuff we've been making recently, yeah, I'm talking about you, pizza ice cream, that would probably make him cry too, but it was one of your suggestions, so yeah. So this one, stock cube in pasta water. So Marco insists that by doing this, it adds flavour into the pasta as it cooks, and it's no surprise that Italian chefs despise the idea and actually insist it must be cooked with salted water only. So let's do both and compare side to side. All right, 2 saucepans of water, adding in some salt to one. And we did do homemade stock cubes before, and they do have salt in. In fact, you get reduced salt ones, don't you? But this is actually one of those pot things. In fact, I'm fairly certain that Marco, the chef, did actually have a brand deal with these company. They rhyme with snore. That's all I'm gonna say. But we need to get them both onto the boil first of all. We've got some penny pasta down there. Penny for their thoughts. What's gonna happen? This is gonna be really interesting, but we need to get that water to a boil first. Here we go then. So his argument is that it will basically taste richer. The pasta will absorb the flavor, enabling the pasta to taste richer all the way through. And Italian chefs have disagreed with him, saying, well, no, it should taste of wheat and not vegetable or chicken stock. Which kind of does make a bit of sense. So it's the same amount of pasta being boiled for exactly the same amount of time. Very different color in the water, obviously. Let's see what this turns out like. Okay then, folks, 2 bowls. This is the plain pasta. And here is the one cooked in the stock. Is there any initial color difference? Is it just me? Or is there a slight difference in color there? Just the slightest bit darker. I'm gonna have to be careful when eating this because this has actually got specks of carrot and other vegetables actually on the pasta. But let's give it a go. Yep, that is plain pasta. That's absolutely fine. Just something that I don't generally have. I know some people do like a bowl of plain pasta, so this could be for you. Let me find a piece that's like not got anything on it. The penny, maybe the penny was a bad choice because there's a carrot chunk in that first piece. Right, here we go. Okay, there is the faintest taste of something. It tastes like pasta, but with the faintest whisper of stock on there. And of course, hopefully you're just gonna drench it in some sort of sauce anyway. For me, that's a bit of a fail. Yeah, with that one, it did kind of work, but it was so mild, I would kind of question the benefit of it. Now, this is a nice quick one before I've saved 2 more quirky ones for the end. This one also from Alton Brown. By freezing your citrus fruit briefly, it will firm up for a cleaner, less messy segmenting. Now, people think doing that will ruin the flavor. It's a little bit of a gimmick. gimmick and is overly scientific, but if you think it's overly scientific, you should try other Alton Brown recipes. And in fact, we already have in this very video, those scrambled eggs were great. The other suggestion with this is by having the frozen fruit, when you slice through it, you shouldn't lose any of that juice. So let's have a look. Okay, so here I have a lime, a lemon, and an orange, and here I have a lime, a lemon, and an orange, except these have been in the freezer for around about 25 minutes. Hence you can see as they're thawing out slightly already a little bit of moisture on the board. So let's try the orange. Right, room temperature one first of all. Will we get a juice explosion? Not really. I mean, a little trail came out there. That was from the knife. Maybe if we go down a few more times. Okay, it's a little bit starting to come out. I mean, I'm using a nice sharp knife, so I am getting, and this is the other thing it's supposed to do, is prevent you getting any sort of mushy flesh. But this is just an orange that was sat at room temperature. I've got to be honest, that's absolutely fine. Okay, there's a tiny bit of juice there. So maybe if you work in a restaurant, okay, that is slicing really well, to be fair. And actually, that is perfectly flush. I mean, actually, the difference you're getting is, look at the face of this orange here. Can you see that that one there is almost smooth? Whereas the room temperature one, you can sort of see the grooves in the orange, the actual individual flesh elements, whereas this has always got like a bit of an icy shield over it. The other thing is they're saying it's a lot easier to get the pith off, and also that it should be able to tear off quite easily. Oh, that is actually, to be fair, that's working quite well. This bit of pith here, look, that just, yeah. That's actually better. And I suppose if I try and do the same with a room temperature one, okay, yeah. It did stick more into the flesh and you're not getting as sharp and smooth a cut. Oh, I don't know about this. I mean, there is a lot of juice coming out of that now. And look how dry that is, to be fair to it. Yeah, I've got to say, it is slicing like absolutely perfect. Like there's the smoothest edge on it. But I have to go back to that room temperature orange as long as your knife is sharp. I don't know, we'll try it with the lemon as well. Room temperature lemon. No, I don't know. It is good, but I think I would only really care about the difference between the two of those if I actually worked in a high-end restaurant and I wanted to make some sort of weird art or something. Yeah, I think cutting into it to get the flesh off, it does get way more mushy, so there's a benefit there. Oh, that's quite nice. Yeah, I'm not that fussy about my segmenting of fruit, but I could see how that's useful. For me, that's a fail. Let's move on. I feel like I would have liked that one if I was working behind the bar of a 5-star hotel or something like that. This next one is a chance for Marco Pierre White, yes, the stock cube pasta guy, to have another chance. This one involves butternut soup. In fact, let's get it going. Yes, that is simmering away on the hob because Marco says carrot juice, which was actually really hard to get hold of in the supermarket. This was £3.50. Really does taste of carrot. Wow. Goes fantastically with butternut squash soup. Yes, adding carrot juice will deepen the sweetness, colour, and complexity. People are disagreeing because soup should be something you drink, not cook with, and it can make the soup too sweet or too thin. To be fair, it is quite thin. It might water it down. And also on the colour thing, I don't really think it's going to enhance it too much. They're both kind of orange. Yeah, there is that root vegetable sort of sweetness with that, actually. We'll finish the soup up, divide it, and then add a little bit of carrot juice to one part of it. Let's see how it goes. Okay, let's start to whiz this up and see if it does look... to see if it does look any more orange. Maybe the carrot juice will help after all. Okay, that's all blended up, and yeah, actually it's orange, but yeah, maybe not as vibrant. Well, certainly not as vibrant as that, but way, way thicker. Okay, so that's some of the soup as standard, and this one is gonna be carroted, if that's even a word. Okay, side by side, here we go, let's carrot. Look at the color, look at that vibrancy of it. Ooh, look at a little egg yolk coming out of it. Looks like orange food dye. I didn't think it was gonna make that big a difference in there. It's about 1/5 of the total of the soup, but that is a crazy difference. It really smells of carrot as well, and I don't know if I like it. I mean, I guess it looks a little bit like a neon jacket. I feel like I could... If I eat this soup and guide planes into land.
Hey Larry, where's the forklift? Forklift! It's over there by the baggage loader.
Oh, I love that. Nice consistency with the flavors, loving the seasoning in there, and the thickening while blending it up has worked really, really well. A good soup, I blooming love this. I mean, with that and the scrambled egg, I've had quite a good day. But is this gonna be good? It certainly is thinner, look at that. It looks vibrant, doesn't it? But will it taste like a smoothie? Ooh. Oh, it's definitely sweeter. It is thinner. Oh, it's almost sort of like brought the stock to life in it as well. I don't hate it. It hasn't blown my mind as much as the scrambled egg has. Yeah, because other than that first shock, that is the only thing I'm missing. I'm actually going to give that a pass. That worked quite well. Okay, here's the last one, and it's a banana smoothie. What could possibly be strange about a banana smoothie with 3 ingredients? This is from Prue Leith, who's on the Great British Bake Off in the UK. Banana smoothie with the peel. Blend up whole ripe bananas with the peel included into a smoothie. And people have hated it because banana peels are seen as bitter, fibrous, and basically food rubbish. People just were dead against it and can't imagine drinking one. And so I think about that, I'm like, yeah. I mean, I get that it's great for the food waste. Actually, we've left over banana peels before. I made banana bacon. That was certainly a thing, but I'm really worried about this one. All right, so let's just make a standard smoothie from the same batch of bananas I'm gonna be using for the main one. So just the banana. Not gonna give it any help. It should be able to blast through this. Okay, top that up. And a little squidge of honey as well. Sorry, mate, not using you. All right, here we go. This should be nice. Okie doke, there we are. A nice, smooth smoothie. Apologies about the speckled glass, it's one of my favorite ones. Right, I'm not gonna have it yet because I feel like I might want it by my side whilst we make the other one. The only positive I'm getting from this is that being a ripe banana, like even that bit, I'll put that in there, okay? It's all thready and fibrous. Like a banana bread, the riper the banana, it really does make it taste gorgeous. See, look at, I'm even gonna put this bit in. This feels so wrong. This might take a while to actually blend up, to be fair, and it might be for good reason. But I actually really want this to work, so come on, let's give it the benefit of the doubt, if it'll even shut. There we go. Oh wow, that looks how I feel. It looks so confused. Oh, here we go. What's gonna happen? Oh. Tell you what, it's blooming done it. I didn't even need to shake that at all. I mean, it looks more like a chocolate milkshake, doesn't it? Now, I've not met Prue. I've been lucky enough to meet Mary Berry 3 times, and every time I have, she's had a glass of wine in her hand. But yeah, Prue seems quite nice as well. Oh my gosh, look. It looks like charcoal. It's thick, isn't it? Maybe a touch more milk if I was to make this again. Look at that side by side. Oh my word. Okay, it's got the color of a chocolate milkshake, and I don't think the glass is helping, to be fair, with either of them. I'm getting like the vibe of a swamp. But let's start with the standard one. Oh, that's beautiful. Nice and smooth, but not too thin like carrot soup. Nice banana flavor with a hint of honey. Right, let's just get this done. Oh, it's a bit gritty. I don't think you should necessarily chew a drink, but I actually like it. That is a pass, and I think almost my favorite today. My favorite has to be how we started with my legitimate breakfast scrambled egg. I've got to say the fruit is probably the least practical, but that pasta one, I don't know why, I think having it side by side, I was really expecting it to be like, wow. I feel let down by that pasta one. Hope you found this fascinating. I've got at least another 20 on my phone, so I could do future videos of this, and I'll keep looking as well, but these were chef inspired. And you know what, maybe, yeah, rather than throwing out your banana skins, that was actually better. Yeah, it does taste even more banana-y than that, but that's probably because every single part of the banana is in it. Maybe a slight bitter taste afterwards. But actually, for your peel, I would rather make that than the banana bacon. Hope you've enjoyed the video, hope I made you smile, and I'll see you again next time. Ciao for now. And before I go and decide which banana smoothie to have, a massive thank you to the names on the screen that help support the running costs of the channel on Patreon. Could not do it without your support. Massive thank you. See you later.